Hey, welcome to the TO desk. This is your host, DJCream, aka Daryl Bunau. With us today, I have three esteemed guests, and we're going to be talking about Slashback 2024. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Uh, what's up? I'll go first. I'm Brett. I'm the event director for Slashback 2024, local Northern California. Looking forward to being on the show.
I'm Prem. I'm one of the head staff for Slashback, and I'm also from NorCal.
And I'm Mario. I also part of the lead staff for Slashback, and yeah, pretty excited to be here.
Cool. Yes, pretty much everyone here is NorCal. Oh, by the way, production is handled by Gibby, SoCal representative. So thank you for that. But yeah, for the most part, all of our guests are from NorCal. So Slashback is pretty much our major in the area, and we're super excited to talk about this event coming in like about a month now.
Yeah, it's a little. It's getting close. Still a lot of stuff we got to work out, but last year was great. Looking forward to doing this year. I think had a lot of kinks we were able to hammer out last year, so hopefully this year will be a bit smoother.
All right. So yeah, the quick rundown for the event for this year at least is going to be the weekend of April 6th and 7th at Guild House, which is in downtown San Jose. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We got
6,
nine.
7, 8, 9 games on the lineup. In descending order of most entered game to the least entered games would be Under Night Embers 2, Grand Blue versus Rising. I was gonna say Relink because I was playing a lot of that recently. But we have Versus Rising, Guilty Gear Strive, Guilty Gear Rev 2, Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R, Blaze Blue Central Fiction, Melty Blade Type Lumina, Koihime, and Gundam Redacted. So
yeah, those numbers might change a little bit, but we're pretty much locked in since we sold out Reg, like, I don't know, it was almost a month ago now. So
Only February, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, there's a possibility actually that Grand Blue Rising overtakes Uni if enough people decide to hop in on Rising post closing of the reg, but probably it'll be close if that does happen.
yeah, like you just recently upped the entry cap for Grand Blue Rising, and I think I saw the numbers fluctuate since then.
Yeah. So we capped at 160. So we have a wait list, and that wait list was a roughly 30 people or so. So it doesn't really surprise me too much that I see us at that kind of like 190-ish mark for Grand Blue.
Yeah, I'm assuming Bancho's taking lead on this this tournament because like the NorCal Grand Blue account has been heavily pushing this event.
Yeah, he's the game lead.
That to be expected. But yeah, congratulations to them by the way for being like the official I guess like game ambassador for the game in North America. So they'll also be like like just talking to all the players, getting feedback, and then that kind of feedback would be siphoned back to side games, I assume. So yeah, before we go into this year's event, let's quickly talk about what everyone's reactions last year's event. That was the first time, Brett, you hosted Slashback, and yeah, I just want to get everyone's opinions on it. Like the initial impression for me was like, damn, that's a lot of people.
It was.
I don't know if either Prem or Mario, when you guys want to talk a little bit about what you thought about last year.
Last year, it's pretty hectic those first couple days because going like for me personally, I live so close to it that going there and back to like help with setting stuff up and helping with the feedback from the production staff was pretty fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more fun weekends I've had at least since COVID. Well, I felt like I was helping a lot, and I think I was, but it just such good vibes. It just felt like a UNCD, but like
yes,
all these people from all over came out as opposed to like the smaller vibes we normally have. But it really just felt like a giant local to me, which I appreciate more so than some of the big events I've been to.
Yeah, like
getting to see a lot of old faces was great.
yeah, that's just what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like the people we had there was pretty cool. I always kind of just look through the attendee list leading up to the event, so I'm always like, I always get good vibes just seeing who's showing up and stuff like that. This year, the same thing. Yeah, I'm just like scrolling through the who's showing up, being like, oh sweet, that person's coming. That's awesome.
Yeah, like historically, like the major like regional event here would be like what NCR, but that's typically not like an anime central like centralized event. So seeing anime being heavily represented at a NorCal event, it brought a lot of people, not just within not just within California, but also like PNW showed up and like all the other like surrounding regions showed up. So that was like, oh damn, we got everyone out here.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I think honestly, pretty much a lot of positive feedback from last year. So I think we underestimated just how much of an impact that would make on this year, because pretty much by all accounts, uh, our the growth trend of the event went far past what we anticipated. That's for sure.
Yeah, walking in and out that day one was it's kind of difficult. That line we had for to get in was kind of long. You definitely had to go like pretty far down the block to see the end of it.
Yeah, the beginning was definitely pretty crowded. I'm gonna expect this year to kind of be similar, but maybe more people will roll through on the day zero. So maybe that line will be a little bit better. But luckily, actually, last year I feel like the congestion kind of cleared out. Not too. It didn't take too much time for it to clear out. So that was something I was thankful for.
Yeah. I definitely remember worrying about space coming up to the event, going, "Oh God, we have way too many people." So
Yeah, I
glad
mean,
that was
I
not
capped it like kind of like unplanned. I think. Uh, I don't remember exactly how that happened, but I think I just remember being like, okay, I think I gotta cap this thing, and then we just kind of like capped it. Uh, this year, obviously, we tried to raise that cap a little bit, based on how much room we had last year and what kind of space we're looking at this year. Uh, but with people kind of jumped into this tournament kind of hard and fast this year, so I do feel a little bit bad for a number of people who definitely said that they want to make it out, but Reg is closed, which is unfortunate. But we're trying to we're trying to make sure that the event doesn't feel like too congested to the point where it's just like not a desirable experience anymore. As much as I'm sure a lot of us are like pretty tolerable about packing it in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the convention like lifestyle, like especially early on when you're just like poor. You're just like, all right, we got to split this hotel room and then pack it all in, bro. But hey, at least one of the big improvements is like, we got hotel blocks this time. That's kind of that's
Yeah,
like an
hotel
improvement.
blocks. We have a little bit more space inside of the venue now, so we get to use a couple more of the rooms. Pretty cool. I'm really excited to see Gundam be played this year because it's up in like this PC area. There's like 2 rooms for each of the
Yeah.
teams, and it's pretty cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's like the one thing cool about like Guild House. It's like pretty much separated into like two different like areas. Is like the main area with like all the food and like bar area plus like all the play like all the stations that's available to play. But they all have this back room that's just like what like half as big as the main room that has like
Yeah,
places to like play casuals and stuff like that. I enjoyed that back room a lot last year.
Yeah. I'm I don't think we've announced it yet, but basically there's some extra space that we're able to utilize last year compared to or this year compared to last year. So for people who were there last year, it'll be really cool. Just we have basically another smaller back room that used to be the storage room at the venue that we're going to be able to actually have. I believe we're going to have BYOC there as the main thing. So
Ooh.
I think overall, even though we have slightly more people at the event, I think it won't really feel like super crowded. And I think that the way that we've kind of sorted everything out in terms of the floor plan looks to be like pretty manageable. So I'm excited to hopefully make that work out.
All right, cool. So I guess that just leads us into like talking about what to expect this year. Do you guys want to like pick a game to like start off with and like talk about what you guys excited to see? Like, are there any international players coming out?
Yeah, personally for Uni, I'm really excited to see it because I mean it's a new game. We had Frosty, but that was like the day one tournament
Yeah,
or
that was the
whatever.
week one tournament.
Yeah. So now that like the meta and like the players have developed their characters a little bit more, I think it'd be really cool to see like just where everyone stands and like just like seeing the matchups in a new game. It's pretty exciting. We have international competition coming in. We're flying out players from Japan, one of them being Clear Lamp, which is really cool.
We also have some East Coast people coming out. I know Foxup is coming, so that'll be really
Hey.
cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of talent coming in for Uni this year. I think that's easily one of the games to definitely have our eyes on. It's going to be a good tournament no matter what. I feel like I'm not even really worried sweating it at all. Because we got Clearlamp here, we got Foxov. We got a lot of people like from PNW in Canada always come through too. Suika's here this year. So it's good. It's gonna be good. I think the level competition is gonna be great. I think our local region grinds the game pretty hard too. So I think it's gonna be a great bracket. It's pretty big. We got like 230, I think, something like that. So definitely gonna be one of the biggest uni tournaments offline since the game's release. So
Yeah.
that's super exciting.
Yeah, I'm like super excited for this because I feel like this is our first time in NorCal we got like a uni bracket this big. So just seeing like all the local talent face off with a lot of the out of region talent, like it's gonna be like a Royal Rumble of
Yeah.
like I don't even know, I can't even predict like what top 8 would even look like just because the game is so new. So there's
Yeah, it's pretty
you said,
crazy. Like I see Infinity's coming this year too.
I know
I
Vikio
think
is
I'm assuming
coming.
Stanley is coming. I didn't check though.
Stanley probably can't because of woke.
Okay,
Sadly.
rip. I see.
No.
I know
Yeah.
Vikio is coming. I think Smart is also coming, both of them from East Canada.
Yeah, I see
go.
KFL in the bracket as well.
Yeah,
hey, welcome
KFL.
back. I haven't seen that one on.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Squish is also coming out. But
Yes,
it's West Coast, but
yes.
it's cool to see Squish coming back to the game.
Yeah, like I know Squish thought about retiring like just before the
I mean,
pandemic.
he would have said that he was retired throughout all of Cleo.
Mhm.
Like guaranteed he would have said that. So definitely cool to see him back.
But we're back. Yeah.
We are so back.
We also back, unironically.
Yeah, I know with Grand Blue Versus, like I know Boncho had like a Kickstarter
Yeah.
going on to like bring like several talent over here.
I know for sure he's bringing the one Zeta player. Oh God, I can't remember his name. It starts with an S. It's the best Zeta player out there in Japan. I just straight up can't remember the name right now, but I know Boncho definitely is flying him out. I think he's flying out too, or at least one or two other people from Japan, but I also know that bracket's going to be really big. Grand Blue itself has been like way bigger than I honestly expected it would be from when Rising came out. So it'll be really cool. I don't really super follow everything about Grand Blue, but I do know how much people are actually like, grinding out the game. I know locally, well, I'm pretty sure Aaron the Mac is coming because he lives in NorCal and he's been doing really well both offline and in the net play tournament. So that'll be cool to see how he does.
Yeah, there's a lot of people for Grand Blue. I like Prem said, I don't follow the game as closely, but it's still a bit of a shock to me how many people are thirsty for the game still. So that is pretty sweet. Yeah, I know that Boncho's flying in. I think it's a few people. I want to say it's like 3 or something.
I
JP
feel like
players.
it's 3. I found the name of the Zeta player, Shoshan. Yeah, I remember. So I know for sure Shoshan is coming.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the level competition there is going to be really high level. I feel like West Coast turned up last year as well, especially for Grand Blue. That's I think I don't remember what the cap was for that. Was it 64? Did we raise? I think we raised it to
I think that one was 96.
76.
96.
96.
Yeah, that was one of the first games you guys like raised the cap on because I remember it was like that and like one other game you were looking to like raise the cap on.
Yeah,
So
so like even last year already, I think they were stepping it up. So it's really cool that they're keeping with it this year. So I think we'll see a lot of the familiar faces from last year combined with JB players. So
yeah, so like Unity, Grand Blue are kind of like NorCal staples at this point. And surprisingly, like Rev 2 has also like been like Pat has been carrying that like game on his back, and there's still so many people like still playing Rev 2.
yeah, Rev 2 is I'm really happy to be able to host it Slashback again this year. The community is always obviously super supportive, and the game is in really interesting state in the last few years post COVID. I feel like as newer players have gone in, and with the advent of rollback, the level has increased pretty drastically to the point where now we're really seeing a lot of interaction between kind of strong new school players versus old guard, things like that. It's like the last few tournaments, the big ones, it's like I barely recognize the names of a lot of the people that make the top 8, just because there's so much new talent coming in, or people who were not really hitting their stride when the game was, like Evo main game level, but now have really developed themselves. So I think it's just gonna make the competition really fun to watch because people are just the level is just getting higher and higher. So that's sweet. And obviously, in terms of attendance, they're bringing it again this year. They I think compared to last year, they hit higher numbers again this year. So they're always meeting us where as we give them more support. So that's great.
Yeah, like you said, like I feel like there's been a new audience since the pandemic, like kind of made older players like kind of look to other directions, whether it's like different games or just life in general. So there's like this gives opportunities to like all these newer cats who are like rising up in the scene to like like show what they got on like at a higher stage. So yeah, like Rev 2 is definitely one of the more interesting games to like see new talent arise from. We got like a lot of like Guilty Gear stuff. You want to talk about Pulsar, or do you want to talk about Strive next?
Go with Strive, I think. Strive's little bit down in terms of numbers from last year, but still really solid. So like a 130 something. So Strive is had a pretty great turnout last year. I think all of us can attest to the Strive scene in our region being like one of the foundations for kind of a lot of our new locals. We just got so much new blood, new talent since Strive's release. I think it's just been really cool. We just meeting so many new people and people who are enthusiastic about helping out and supporting the scene, and because you would think the game is it's a new game, so you would think that people there kind of just like playing it because it's the biggest thing, but and don't really care about anything else. But I found that it's like the Strive people are probably the people who most often come up to me, at least asking me how they can help, or that they're so ready to help run brackets and stuff like that. I always think that has been the coolest thing about our local scene recently.
Yeah,
And
no,
like
our Strive scene is great.
yeah, I was gonna mention like Guildhouse does like host like what weeklies or monthlies
It's
for
weeklies. For Guild House.
weeklies. Yeah, so like the venue itself already has like a sizable audience for Strive. Like how's that like on a weekly basis?
Our Strive local is actually super competitive. I try to go weekly at least just to hang out or even enter sometimes. But we have like really good people like or players like Vineeth and Jonathan. But on top of that, we have actually some new faces. Brone actually just beat Vineeth and Jonathan and Supernoon all at the most we at Genesis,
Woo!
which is pretty crazy considering
Hey,
that
made a
like,
run.
he made a run. He went through all 3 of them from losers bracket, like one after another. He like I remember looking at Jonathan's face, and Jonathan was not happy.
Oh, such a good set.
Jonathan was struggling. Well, that's good to show because I remember him like coming to AFK or Old Local, which is also owned by the Guildhouse staff, or was, and he was really new. He did not really know what he was doing. I was helping him a lot. He kept complaining like, "I can't deal with someone fuzzy jumping," and now look at him. Pretty crazy. We also have other good people. I know Afo and Kaijo Boy. They're both really good players. They take out sets off of Jonathan and Beneath multiple times, who I'm going to use as my baseline for top players. As they are definitely the two most consistent players in Norwegian and definitely get top 8 at all the big events often. So cool to see people who are constantly actually keeping the competition like serious at Guildhouse for the weekly. Because I think if you haven't heard about our region, you would definitely just assume that, let's say, Jonathan or Beneath win every week without fail. But I think Beneath, like, truly would rather play against, like, Razo or Tashi than Brone any day of the week. Like, without shame, without fail.
That's tight. That's tight. Yeah. Which one of the following, like, which one of the remaining games you guys want to talk about? There's still Plus R, BBCF, Melty, Kohime.
Yeah, we can go down the list basically. I think Plus R, I think, is next in numbers after Rev.
Yeah.
I think it's, I guess, maybe close to cap if we gave it a 64 cap. Or maybe we gave it an 80 actually, now I'm thinking about it. In any case, yeah, like Plus R this year is gonna be pretty sweet too. You know, Plus R is obviously, you know, a game I like a lot, but it's been a game that the new gen is kind of fresh. I guess like kind of like, you know, Rev. Plus R also got a huge resurgence.
The rollback patch.
Yeah, the rollback patch. I mean, it has like the best matchmaking of any fighting game, basically. Like I'm pretty sure every game just needs to copy what Plus R is doing as far as quick match goes, because yeah, quick match is just such an amazing experience. And in any case, basically, you know, we got a lot of new players who are strong, and you know, it's been my goal to try and get more people to come out for Plus R over here at Slashback. So this year, I think we're gonna be seeing some pretty sweet matches. Level's gonna be higher. Because, you know, our local region, you know, we play Plus R, but I would say it's definitely less active than some of the other games around here. So we're really hoping to get some of the out of town talent to level up. Last year, you know, obviously, it was great. We had people like Digital Watches, Wukash. This year we've got Alvin Shadow coming out, so you know, he was not able to make it last year, but he's coming this year. So that is obviously pretty huge. So there's a couple other big names in there too. But basically, yeah, I'm really hoping we can get more eyes on the event for Plus R, so that can be kind of something for people to look forward to outside of the typical Ziotaku combo breaker Frosty's gauntlet.
Yeah, I feel like last year's finals felt like a very diverse like top 8. Like I don't see a lot of like souls and stuff. Like Watches won with Axel, and you just don't see that very often.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. This year we got a bunch of cool names. Obviously, Alvin Shadow I mentioned, but we've got Rodrigo Hono, who used to be in our region.
Back.
Yeah, but he moved out. I don't actually know where he lives anymore. He might be back again. I don't know. But yeah, he's gonna be there, so that's gonna be sweet. Essay is gonna be here as well, and Krakatoa is also in the bracket. So it's gonna be pretty diverse. We might see a lot of Faust in here, but as well as, you know, typical names from our local scene, obviously, and also from SoCal. We got Fu and Julian also showing up, so that's exciting.
Yeah, those two are always down to clown. Like they've been coming up to this region like ever since like the United like dogfight days. So yeah, they're always a sight to see.
Yeah. Oh, and Deft is going to be here too. So Deft had a pretty crazy placement at the most recent Frosty Faustings, where he made top 8. You know, took out Blitz in the mirror. Made a lot, made a huge splash. Basically, I think his first major But he's been a strong player now playing and used to live in Japan. But I actually don't even know where he lives now. But considering he's showing up to this, so he must live somewhere in the States now. But so that he's also definitely going to be someone who's going to do a lot of damage in the bracket, I think.
Yeah, speaking of people coming out from out of the region, Blaze Blue was a last minute addition last year's event because there were so many people from different regions outside of NorCal clamoring for it. So it's cool to see this game back again.
Yeah, I mean, BB was a game where just so many people asked for it, and we weren't originally planning on putting it in last year. And the just had to talk to the team, talk to Des, and be like, "Hey, can we make this happen?" Because we got a lot of people who want this game to be here. Because it's hard to find games for BB locally in our region. It's just pretty spread out. But people from SoCal, people from PNW really helped push to get this game added. So I'm pretty happy that they came through last year, and I've see a lot of awesome faces in the bracket this year as well. So if you didn't watch last year, I definitely was pretty sweet, top 8. So I'm looking forward to this year as well.
All right. Yeah, well, Multi-Blood. It looks like this year Multi-Blood kind of took a dip in numbers. Is it because Uni's just taking over the player pool this time around?
I mean, yeah, it might be. I don't know, Prem, you want to talk about it a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has some partially to do with Uni. A lot of people do the Flinchbird community generally does stick within the Flinchbird games. Well, there's a lot of overlap between them at least. So it is taking a dip, but there are definitely still some people that I've seen were grinding even before Uni came out, and they're still coming out and entering. Akimi, Raiden, and Shubao, they're all coming from out of region, and they've always been really good at the game. They do fairly well at all the big events, and we still have
a lot of, we have talent in region too.
Yeah, so as I was getting those, so to in region talent, we have Phantom, and I guess his tag right now is Criminal Activity. I can't remember his old tag, but anyway, both of them did really well at Evo. Phantom has been doing super well in all the net play brackets, and he did really well at Evo, and even in the the Evo suite for Melty, a lot of the Japanese players, from what I know, super praised how Phantom played specifically. And Criminal Activity, I think he got 25th at Evo last year, which is really good. No one really expected him to do that well from my knowledge, and honestly, I didn't expect him to do that well. So shout outs to Chris, big fan. Yeah. So I know we have good competition both in region and good amount of competition coming from SoCal and PNW, which is really hype for Melty. I do want the game to still do well. I actually like the game a good amount. Its IP is a little too broken, so it's I really it doesn't matter exactly my feelings on the game. I always want to watch the game because of how cool the characters are as someone who's very interested in type.
Oh wait, you were talking about Chris? He changed his tag?
Chris. I forgot his old tag.
Oh, Funky Panda.
Oh. Dude, it's new and
that's so funny. I didn't know he changed his tag.
Yeah, he changed it when Rising came out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Temple was a lot of fun to watch. Last year, Phantom made a huge run out of the losers bracket top 8 and just went on a killing spree. I think he got top 3.
I believe he got photo for last year.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, that was super exciting to watch. I also say this as I also imported that Melty Blood manga that is Miyako's learning how to play Type Lumina. That's super cute.
The Melty Blood fighting game manga is pretty good. I can't deny. I'm a big fan.
I should have bought extras, to be honest, and just
honestly, I would have bought one from you if you had extras. Shit is so good. You can see who's a hitbox player in Melty Blood. It's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a section where Miyako touches an arcade stick for the first time and her eyes just widen up. It's super adorable. All right, another NorCal hidden gem is actually Koihime. It has one of the lower number of entries, but I feel everyone on that list of entries, I'm Yo, you're from NorCal. You're from NorCal. You learned this game from NorCal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna argue that our region is the easily kind of the strongest region for this game. We still try and run brackets for it locally, which is pretty rare these days. Anywhere outside of Japan, even in Japan, it's been hard post COVID since the game does not have good net play. I think we're still waiting to get that. I know that that's been something that's been announced, but we do have it in the bracket. Last year we had it as a side tournament, so I'm happy to be able to run it as a main game. Obviously, yeah, a lot of typical names in the NorCal scene, but yeah, we got some invaders here. We got Kairos from Canada, who has placed well at other tournaments for this game, and Omni Rabbit, who is kind of like a net play monster as well. So, and then Brandon as well, from New York.
Oh, I
So
see.
yeah,
So
pretty
excited to
sweet.
be Brandon.
Yeah, I can't remember who I heard it from. I think it was like probably Jushichi or something, where like Brandon just sat down with some of the NorCal heads and just learned Koihime at like a major, and that fool just wouldn't get off the station.
Pretty sure it was
Yeah.
Anime Ascension 2020.
Yeah, that was
that
great.
2020?
I'm pretty sure because I remember playing him in Koihime, and
I also remember playing him in Koihime.
I was telling him he was not good.
He was playing at Climax with us. I
Oh,
think.
He was playing at
Yeah, he
Climax,
did play
but
with us at
before
Climax.
that, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Anime Ascension.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Damn, he did not get any better in those years.
Damn. Yeah, we'll see.
All right,
but
Brandon, you got a lot
it's
of work
pretty-
ahead of you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to talk about Gundam.
Do you want to talk about Gundam?
I can say what I can say about it. Yeah. Gundam is happening. You like Mario mentioned before. It's gonna be pretty sweet actually. I am very excited for it. Obviously, people listening to this, if they're not at the event, then they will not really gain much from hearing this because it's not really going to be televised or anything like that. But our subs for the game are pretty cool. We've been testing it for a bit now. For people who were at Frosty, they got to see a little taste of that. So, obviously, since some ways to play this game now do not really involve paying anything, being a PC game is actually pretty huge. And the game has actually gotten a decent amount of new blood because of the fact that it's like literally free. So that is pretty sweet. Like especially, I think some of the Plus R players in particular have been picking up the game. So I'm actually kind of excited for like the people who are good are going to do well at this event. We have some people coming from out of town for it as well. So at the high level, I'm actually pretty excited because I don't know who's going to take it this year. We have previous Evo champs coming out, as well as some really strong players from out of town. But then we have some we have some new blood, and I'm pretty excited. We got some like out of town new blood. I'm interested in seeing whether they can take on some of our mid-level gatekeepers and things like that. But we had a lot of people saying, "Hey, Gundam, there's a tournament with Gundam as a main game. I'm gonna go and support it." And so that's gonna be good. I think this bracket's gonna be really fun, and we're gonna have casual subs the whole weekend. So I think if you're here for Gundam, it's gonna be a good time.
The casual subs are probably gonna be like really like in demand all weekend, I'm assuming.
Yeah. This year, like Mario mentioned, we have it up in like if you were here at Guildhouse last year or just come locally, you probably didn't see it, but they kind of redid some of their office rooms in the upstairs area of the parlor to be their future like MOBA area. And so we are going to be able to use that basically. So they're like booths for 5-on-5s or something like that, like PC games. So we're basically able to repurpose those as kind of Gundam pods, and I think it's just going to be a fun area that you always know is going to be open. You just go there and play games and stuff like that. So a little far away from the main attention, but at the same time, it's like it's a nice quiet space, and everyone there is trying to get their games in Gundam, so it's going to be fun.
I mean, the good thing is like it's gonna be quieter by comparison, so that means you could actually like talk with your teammate to like coordinate attacks and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'm entering this with fellow 956 member Shib, and that fool's flying out of state. He's gonna be my partner. I hope he carries me because I have no idea what I'm doing in this game. I'm assuming there's like legacy stuff that like just legacy techniques that I'll just carry
Yeah, I
over.
mean, there's suits and gameplay from the previous versions that are still in the game. So yeah, things change every version, but I think you guys will be fine. And certainly, when while you guys have free time, hit up those casuals and grind those games in for sure.
All right, cool. Earlier in the podcast, you mentioned day zero. Are we gonna have a day zero like thing going on this year as well?
Yes, we will. So I don't know if we have any events planned for Day Zero this year, but the venue will be open, and we'll be partially setting up on that Friday. So we'll be doing the same deal where we'll be distributing badges to people who reg things like that. So people should definitely come through on day zero to just get games and hang out, get your badge, and so you don't have to hit the badge pickup line on the morning of Saturday. It's gonna be a pretty packed weekend. We're running pretty much as much stuff as we can. 9 games over 2 days is a lot. With multiple bigger brackets than last year. So, for example, Uni and Grand Blue are basically running pools all throughout Friday into the early
Saturday.
part of Saturday.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Saturday,
So,
Sunday.
oh, sorry. Yeah, all throughout Saturday into early Sunday. So, yeah, it's gonna be a packed 2 days. So, definitely recommend taking that Friday to just kind of relax and have a day for nice casuals. Because yeah, if you entered some games, you're gonna be pretty busy on those 2 days.
Yeah, just having that badge pickup alone is like a number one thing you could do as a player, because like the last thing you want to do is like show up Saturday morning for like Saturday morning pools, not have your badge ready. Like it's gonna be a bad look for you.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Is there anything about the event that you guys want to like chime in on? Um,
I'll mention, I guess, that we haven't officially announced it, but it does look like we're going to be able to support a very select amount of on-site spectator badges. So for people who are desperate to come and did not make it and don't think that their chances on the wait list are good, I think that you will have a chance to possibly walk in and buy a spectator badge, but do know that that's definitely going to come at a premium. But it looks like we may be able to commentate it. Obviously, my main goal is to make it so that space is not a problem. So that is kind of why we're being pretty hesitant about it. But it does look like might be okay. So obviously, follow our socials and look out for it there, because we're not going to do anything without announcing it first. But it's going to be a fun tournament. I guess we didn't actually talk about streams, but I mean, hey, we've got 3 streams this year, and the third stream is run by 956. So I mean, that's going to be a sweet thing. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a fun weekend to watch stuff. Yeah, we got so many games going on. I wish we had more time because it's jam packed, but because of that third stream, it's going to just make it a lot easier for us to fit everything in.
mhm.
So you guys are going to be able to see more pools, more qualifying matches, things like that. And if Prem and Mario had anything you wanted to talk about.
Mhm.
Do you want to mention the food, Prem?
I mean, there's gonna be we had a sheet last year full of food. I need to go find that, but
We're
there's
definitely
a
gonna
good
update it.
amount of food within the Bay Area. At least specifically, I know anytime there's a big event at Guild House, there's always that food truck outside, and the food's pretty good. Also, I'm just gonna mention this. The Mexican lady's making the hot dogs outside.
Yeah.
They're always
Yeah.
there for you. Like, I'm not gonna tell you that you're gonna feel great after, but
Yeah, they came through.
it's really good.
They're
It's a
so
gotcha.
good. Yeah, if you're
And
brave
beyond-
enough,
yeah.
before your bracket, you can have a hot dog.
Yeah, and beyond that, there was a good amount of food within downtown. We have solid Mexican options. There was the House of Bagels is really good for like breakfast in the morning. There's also Egg Slut nearby, and there's a good amount of options. Dessert wise, there's also my milkshake is a classic for downtown girls.
Classic.
Oh,
Insomnia cookies late at night.
Yeah, they all open until like 2 a.m. So
yeah,
very easy to just decide you want a milkshake and walk over there. It's not that far at all. So I think the food is good to look out for. Obviously, there's a lot more options once you decide to like take an Uber or go out. One option that I know for sure everyone in our region that like loves at this point is Chicken G's. It's not the closest, but honestly, it's easily the best fried chicken sandwich I've had.
You gotta go.
It is 100% worth that like 20-minute Uber. Everyone who's come here, like all the Shy people who've ever come here from like Jonathan or whatever, we always try to make them go out to eat Chicken G's. And I honestly at this point it's like what I call the staple NorCal food that is actually different. For when someone asks me, it's like I want to eat something that's different in NorCal as opposed to like anything else, I always will mention Chicken G's first.
Yeah. We also have a lot of good boba here too. Like Tierra is gonna be one that we're gonna be either door dashing or just going to a lot over that weekend.
Josh got us, I believe.
Yeah, there's like a ton of options in the area, especially now that like a lot of us are going to be staying in the hotels in the area. It's going to be a little easier to just do quick drives out to wherever we need to go. So definitely, I feel like our venues. One of the best points about it is how easy it is to walk out and get food, and certainly for people who are coming from out of town, I think it's a pretty nice experience just being able to walk outside and wander around and find food because depending on where you're going for events, that is not always an option. I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, this is like in the middle of downtown San Jose, so this is like you can pretty much just pick a direction, walk like a mile or two, and then you got like something to eat really quickly. Cool. We should like update this Google Doc of like food choices, and then like
we'll
I need to
be doing that.
Go find the last year's one. It can't be that hard. I'm pretty sure Boncho made it, so just need to speak to him about it.
Yeah, totally.
And get it on the Start GG for this year. I don't think it's so.
Probably
put it on the Start GG, and then we'll also put it in the description for this episode as well.
I'm assuming that it's on our 2023.
Oh, it actually is still there. Indeed.
Yeah, so you can just grab it from there.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, is there any other like things about like the venue or just like the event in general you guys want to like espouse on? Because I think we're wrapping up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited for another year. I think obviously by now we're kind of wrapping up most of our pre-planning for the event and just closing out, making sure everything's working out. I would say, I guess, it's not up yet, but when we do release our merch online, definitely recommend checking it out. Last year's was really cool. I'm excited to get just more merch for Slashback. I always appreciate people repping it. I definitely had the weirdest experience, the opportunity to commentate a match with someone like shilling the shirt on stream at Frosty. So that was really fun. Definitely it's weird being in that position actually, because I don't know how many people have the chance to do that, but it's like, I mean, I think there was an event, what was it? There was an event last year as well where we had a Slashback slide. So it playing this, like commentating my own block and reading off ad reads for my own tournament was pretty funny.
I believe that was Climax, right?
Was that Climax? Okay, that might have been
Climax. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely experience. But anyways, definitely check out the merch if you can. It helps a lot. Obviously, we don't really talk about that much, but it's pretty expensive to run an event, and we kind of need all the help we can get. So definitely very thankful for all the support that we do receive. And like I mentioned at the top, the amount of people who came through for this event is kind of unreal, since we we basically capped out in like a month of having our reg open. So we basically we got entrance at a speed of about like 4 times that of last year. So that was not really something any of us were ready for, and that just kind of goes to show just how many people have a lot of faith in our event and are willing to just frame one, be regen for it and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. It has led to some issues, but they're definitely good problems to have. But it just means that there is a clear demand, and a lot of people support the event, and I'm definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, like previously, like in NorCal, we just didn't have this kind of event. Like, sure, we had United NorCal dogfights, but it was never to this scale. And just to see the support that we've like garnered over the years, and then everyone around in the surrounding areas like, yo, we got to go hit up Slashback. It's really cool to see that everybody wants to come to NorCal finally.
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised here, so I'm very biased when I say I like this. I like NorCal a lot, and I'm really excited to see all these people come out. Definitely, the weather's always fairly good. Always, a lot of the time, the food's good. Uh, Vibes are cool. I'm really excited to see everyone show up.
Yeah, just seeing people like old faces that I hadn't seen in a while from like the anime Ascension days, like just seeing them again is really cool. I know yeah, a lot of players from SoulCal are coming over, so just getting to hang out with them again and just having an event, yeah, because we've never had an event for an anime centric event like this in NorCal that was like super heavily focused on just anime. So I'm really excited to be a part of this again. Just like it's pretty crazy having gone to locals for anime games since like 2019. Brett was one of the first people I ever met, like in the scene. Brett and Tari, and now getting to work on this event with them is pretty crazy, honestly, all things considered.
I think one thing that NorCal really excels at is just like having all these like old TOs just like available. It's like Brett, Tari, like Subasa, David, like everyone has done like the local scene and helped out at other majors here and there. So we have like this really tight knit like community of like TOs that can also like teach the new generation like, hey, if you want to help run a game, we'll give you the opportunity to do so. Would you agree, Brett?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I just I think actually, compared to other regions, some we don't have as much necessarily like old blood playing the game maybe as some others, but at the same time, yeah, we have a lot of people who run stuff, who've just been sticking around. I feel like this region has always been a kind of region about like playing whatever we want to play and making sure that those underrepresented games get their love. I think that's something that this region has always been about, and it kind of reflects itself in even today, with the events that we do. And obviously Slashback's one a good example of that, because that's kind of like you can kind of trace back the lineage to what we've been doing for the last decade or whatever or more. So yeah, absolutely. Like I think uh the the people who run stuff here, it's like they put in a lot of work, and we definitely have a deep well.
Awesome. Yeah, well, all right. Well, I think that's a good note to like close out on. Do you guys want to, talk about your social, how people can get in contact with Joe, or any other like last things to mention? Like the floor is y'all's.
Yeah, I mean, we'll show the Slashback socials first, obviously. Slashback event on Twitter, definitely the best way to check out stuff. You can also check out our website. It's slashback.info. So you can go there for everything as well. But definitely check out the Twitter is the easiest way. We always put stuff there first. And look for the merch. That'll be dropping as soon as I finish with it. So I'm hoping to obviously get that done in time for people to be able to order it before the event, so they can wear it at the event if they can. But that's gonna be great. So if you want to follow me, I'm HellaBrett on Twitter is the easiest way to check me out.
Yeah. If you want to follow me, I guess I'm Prem from NorCal on Twitter. I don't really post that much, but I definitely retweet everything Slashback retweets. So if you want to find out Slashback information, you'll easily find it from that.
Just an extension. Let's go. And I am at ESFCMario on Twitter. I'll be also doing retweets for everything that Slashback updates, and just my own personal opinions on the event as well.
Cool. Thank you guys for joining me today. Once again, this is 956 Productions. You could follow us on Twitter on 956 Productions. Obviously, you're on the YouTube right now, or maybe your preference of podcast channel. So follow us on that. And then finally, we also have a shop. You could check out our shop at 956pro.com/shop. We have a bunch of new merchandise, and yeah, we'll probably have a slide over on Slashback. Yeah, Brett?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks for looking out for the homies. All right. With that, thank you guys for watching, listening, all that good stuff. You have a good day.